Looking at the most valuable NFL teams with the new season underway. At number 3, it's the Dallas Cowboys. America's team is worth $5.5 billion. Well, throughout the newscast, KMBC 9's Haley Harrison has been focusing on Lead to Read. In her final report, she talks about how you can get involved.
All right, here hanging out with a big stack of books and my good friend Polly talking about Lead to Read. If I'm a volunteer, I want to get involved. How do I sign up?
Well, the best way to sign up is to get on our website, leadtoreadkc.org, and click on Become a Reader, and then we will take it from there and put you at a school that's within 10 to 15 minutes of your home or office.
And you can just do it over your lunch hour once a week, which is really great. You can also donate there too, right?
Right, yes. We are an organization that relies on outside funding, so if you can make a donation, we'd welcome that. And we're also selling t-shirts this year.
Yes, which I'm conveniently modeling here. These are made by Normal Human. They have another design as well. They're $24 on Normal Human's website, and a portion of those proceeds also go to Lead to Read. So that's another way that you can give back to this fantastic organization. All those links are going to be on my Facebook page. Reporting from Citizens of the World Kansas City Charter School, Haley Harrison, KMBC 9 News.
Thanks for joining us at 4. KMBC 9 News at 5 starts right now.
Right now on KMBC 9 News at 5.
New at 5, Hurricane Dorian makes its first U.S. landfall.
It's like a nuclear wasteland. It was a deafening noise and then it was gone.
4 people are killed in the Carolinas, where the storm is headed next. Traffic alert, a big part of I-70 on the east side shuts down tonight. What you need to know to get around. And the Chiefs re-signed Tyreek Hill after his off-season suspension. The details behind his contract extension.
First at 5, the Kansas City St. Joseph Diocese releases the names of dozens of priests who they say have credible allegations of abuse against them. Good evening, I'm Haley Harrison.
I'm Stephen Albritton. This list spans decades. KMBC 9's William Joy is live with what we're learning now. William.
Stephen, Haley, altogether there are 33 clergy on this list. Some of them have been on other lists for other dioceses, but the vast majority of these names are new. The church hired a firm to go through their records going all the way back to 1956 up to today to put together these names of priests with what they refer to as having credible allegations of abuse. Bishop James Johnson said in a statement that they have passed the list along to the Attorney General's office, which does have an investigation underway. Today I actually spoke with an attorney who has represented around 400 people who have alleged sexual abuse against clergy in Missouri or Kansas. She told me that while this list is a step in the right direction, that she provided some of these names decades ago.
It never should have gone in this direction to begin with. And so turn around now. There's no reason to hide. There's no reason to cover up. There's no reason to be less than transparent on any of these issues. Any other organization would be driven out of business had they engaged in this kind of cover-up for this many years.
Both Bishop Johnson and Randalls told me anybody who has experienced abuse should report it to local law enforcement. In Kansas City, William Joy, KMBC 9 News.
William, thank you. We have an entire list of the priests on KMBC.com.
First alert traffic. Do not forget, a big part of I-70 on the east side is going to be shut down starting tonight, and it's going to stay this way for the entire weekend. A 7-mile stretch of 70 from 435 near the sports complex all the way east to I-470 near Independence Center is going to be shut down starting at 9 p.m. until 5 Monday morning. MoDOT is removing ramp bridges along the way. It is all part of that I-70 435 reconfiguration work. No injuries were reported after a semi-truck rolled over this morning in Olathe. It happened just after 9:15. News Chopper 9 was over the scene on I-35 south of 127th Street. The northbound lanes were closed and traffic was briefly diverted on 135th Street. It is back open this afternoon. Let's check in now with News Chopper 9's Johnny Rollins. Johnny.
All right, we're taking a look at what has become the pattern for the afternoon. It is the southbound I-435 run to, it takes you over to westbound 435. During the morning, 4 lanes are open coming out of the triangle headed on over to the Kansas side on 435, but only 3 in the afternoon as they take away a lane. So you can see 470 at the top of the screen there, as well as northbound I-49 getting in the act, and from left to right, some slow going into that 3-lane stuff. But not serious delays. We'll call it maybe an extra 4 or 5 minutes or so. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
First Alert weather now. It's a beautiful red Friday in the metro.
It sure is. Brian joins us with a look now at this weekend's forecast. Brian.
Should stay that way for most of us. Daytime hours looking mostly dry. Temperatures staying below average, but changes within the First Alert 9-day forecast. But let's enjoy this while we can. 82 in Chillicothe, 79. That's it in Trenton. Farther south, 88 in Lawrence. Okay, that's one of the warmer ones. Ottawa, 84 degrees. Usually the Lawrence thermometer at their airport usually reads a little warmer than everybody else. Looking at the cirrus clouds we have out there, temperatures 84 in Lee Summit, St. Joseph 83 degrees, Sedalia 81, and Sedalia also, I should say Olathe, about 85 degrees. So not quite as hot as it should be. The 80s return and they stick around for a while, but it won't be too sticky. And then chances of rain coming in for the weekend, but most of the daytime hours looking dry. We'll look at the exclusive First Alert future scan so you can see which hours are probably the most likely to get wet in a few minutes.
All right, Brian, thank you. Well, after a very slow crawl up the southeast coast, Hurricane Dorian made its landfall and its first U.S. landfall this morning on North Carolina's Outer Banks. The National Weather Service's satellite caught the exact moment it happened on Cape Hatteras. The Category 1 storm has killed 4 people so far in the Carolinas, that according to officials. Meantime, the death toll in the Bahamas is now confirmed at 30, and that number is expected to go up. Hurricane Dorian has turned even more deadly. Officials confirm 4 people died as the storm made landfall over Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. ABC's senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is near Nags Head.
Hurricane Dorian now making landfall just 30 miles to our south. Winds here absolutely ripping.
The storm's high winds sent water rushing down streets, swallowing cars, surrounding homes and businesses in Ocracoke Island. Rescue teams are racing to the scene while officials plan to airlift survivors to safety.
The danger right now is the rising storm surge of 4 to 7 feet.
On Emerald Isle, residents picked up the pieces after a reported twister splintered homes like this one. Miraculously, no one was hurt.
It was a deafening noise. You could hear the wind, but other than that, it wasn't like a freight train, and then it was gone.
Meanwhile, in Charleston, cleanup begins. Businesses that braved the storm are ready to reopen.
For the most part, we were very fortunate.
In the Bahamas, new before and after satellite images show the scale of the damage as relief and aid arrives. Rescue teams transporting some of the injured from hard-hit Marsh Harbor to Nassau's Prince Margaret Hospital.
I was buried in water like this, and my legs were trapped amongst all the wood.
And all across the islands, survivors are facing utter devastation.
Everything in Abaco is totally destroyed. It literally looked like we were bombed.
Tonight, Dorian will continue north. A tropical storm warning has been issued for Cape Cod, and more beaches are closed this weekend.
Well, as if Chiefs fans didn't already have enough to talk about on this Red Friday, Tyreek Hill gave them another reason.
Yeah, a few million reasons. Chris Ketz is here with the details on his contract extension, Chris.
Several million reasons is what we're talking about here. This is a 3-year extension at $54 million. $35 million is guaranteed. There's also a $5.8 million signing bonus, making Tyreek Hill one of the highest paid wideouts in professional football. In April, Hill was the subject of a Johnson County child abuse probe, which ended with no charges being filed. And it's why GM Brett Veach made it clear in the announcement Hill understands the team's expectations of him moving forward. Hill also released a statement saying he appreciates the love and support from fans. As big as this deal is, there continues to be speculation what happened to Hill during the offseason probably cost him an even bigger contract now. Haley?
Well, the Mercer County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding a Kansas City man who escaped from a jail for the second time. 27-year-old Drake Cately escaped from the jail Wednesday night by somehow tearing a hole in the back wall of his jail cell and then escaping through a basement door. He's believed to be on his way to Kansas City. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to call 911.
Today marks the first Friday since a 25-year-old woman was shot and killed in the Crossroads. Erin Langhofer was hit by a stray bullet and died last month. Her death has sparked changes at tonight's event. There will be no road closures, no food trucks, and no art vendors or performers on the streets and sidewalks. The Crossroads Community Association lost its liability insurance. Langhofer's father is a pastor of Recovery Ministries at the Church of the Resurrection in Leawood. The church's campus downtown at 16th and Grand is planning to celebrate her life with a family fun night. It will be from 6 to 7:30. It's a way to honor Langhofer and her work with the Rosebrook Center, which is a domestic violence center.
Well, this morning, a hospital was evacuated and gas service to the entire town of Lexington, Missouri was shut off after a gas leak.
It all stemmed from a vehicle crash at the gas company's border station in town. KMBC 9's Bianca Beltran has more on how this affected local businesses.
all 3 floors. We had the odor of gas.
The Lexington Fire Department helped move patients to a church after they found a broken gas line pumping natural gas into the hospital Friday morning.
The ones that were more critical went one-on-one in ambulances, and the ones that were walking wounded, we could put several in the ambulance at a time.
Chief Weber says the gas leak was caused by a crash at the gas company's border station. A driver lost control of his truck on Highland Avenue, knocked down a telephone pole, and ended up with its tail end against the gas line.
They had to shut off the gas for the town, and they had to release all the gas that was remaining in the lines. So that put a lot of gas into the atmosphere.
Some businesses in town closed for the day.
We have not closed except for Thanksgivings and Christmas days, I think, since we've been open.
The Spotted Pig decided to turn customers away.
Gas leaks are dangerous. We just weren't going to go down that road. Hopefully in the morning we can open up safely, have a good lunch, and prime rib and shrimp again tomorrow night, but not tonight.
In Lexington, Missouri, Bianca Beltran, KMBC 9 News.
Could have been a very bad situation there. Crews with the gas company are working on repairs and will be checking for any additional leaks. Police are looking for the driver of the truck who fled after that crash.
We have a crime alert out of Kansas City, Kansas. A home burglarized, and it is all caught on camera. Take a look at this. A man can be seen running out of the home with a bag in his hand, and the home's alarm is just blaring the entire time. He then gets in that vehicle and drives off. All of this happened last month near Haas Drive in South 29th Street. It was, as you can see, captured on the Ring doorbell camera.
Commitment 2020 Secretary of State Mike Pompeo didn't address speculation about a Senate run during his lecture at K-State today. The seat is open with Senator Pat Roberts not seeking re-election. Pompeo said weeks ago running for the Senate is off the table. 3 Democrats and 4 Republicans have already joined the race.
Okay. Awesome story here for you tonight on this Friday. A flying museum has just landed in the metro. It is one of the only B-29 bombers that's still flying.
And you actually have a chance to get inside one this weekend. And KMBC 9's Emily Hallwick, she got to get on one, and she's live to explain how her flight was and how you can get on. Emily.
Yeah, Stephen and Haley, we just touched down here at New Century Airport in Olathe about half an hour ago or so. There was a huge crowd here to welcome us watching this B-29 bomber, which is named Doc, as you can see here on the front of the plane. This is one of only 2 B-29 bombers from World War II that is still flying today. There were originally, I think, 2,766 of these B-29s built for World War II, but again, just 2 still flying, and this is one of them, and it's right here in our area, and you can see it. I mean, standing next to this thing, you really do feel pretty tiny. This is the propeller, which I'm standing next to right now. It's just amazing, even if you don't go up in it, which we were lucky enough to have that opportunity, but even just to come and see it. I mean, there are some families here, kids looking around. It's a way that the crew just kind of teaches the next generation about World War II and aviation and how that's brought us to the freedoms that we have today. And over here, you can see in the back area, that's where some other people got to take a ride. You have the tail gunner position all the way in the back. It is so amazing to see this plane in person and see the crew here. And we actually got to talk to the pilot who flew this plane from Wichita here to Kansas City. He's from Olathe, so we're going to hear from him this weekend. And you can also take tours of the cockpit until 7 o'clock tonight, also 12:30 to 5, Saturday and Sunday. Reporting live at New Century Airport, Emily Hallwick, KMBC 9 News.
Oh, that was a wonderful tour. Thanks so much to Emily and the crew out there. You can go up in one of those B-29 bombers this weekend. Emily has the link with all the information right now on her KMBC Facebook page. Pretty cool.
Absolutely. Brian.
Stephen and Haley, we have nice weather to go out and do anything, including a tour of that aircraft, and our temperatures are about average and going to stay fairly comfortable until the humidity starts to rise. And with that rise in humidity, a slight chance of some rain showers and a few thunderstorms during your weekend. I'll tell you when, straight ahead.
New surveillance video allegedly shows an American woman trying to smuggle a newborn baby. The charges she's facing tonight.
2 massive wildfires burning out of control in California, the latest on containment.
Big things are coming to KMBC.
I hope people dig it.
Our own Kelly interviews superstar Kelly Clarkson about her new gig as a talk show host.